All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm back. I lost everybody for the stream because I couldn't get the internet to reconnect, so I had to just reboot everything. I do apologize. It's free. If you don't like it, I understand. There's nothing I can do about it. Like I said, I don't have the ability to tap into the Kelso in-house Wi-Fi. I have to use a mobile hotspot from Verizon, and sometimes it works great. Most times it works great. Sometimes it doesn't, as we've seen. So far, what's been working great for the R.A. Long Lumberjacks in the first half is they lead at 34-24. Rhett Young with 14 points. The big man shining the glass in that first half and getting great position down low, some great feeds from Trey Jenkins, amongst others. It was a 16-point lead not that long ago. R.A. Long was up 34-18. But Mark Morris scored the last four. They played even in that second quarter after things started to look not so great. If you guys want to let your friends and family know that we're back live, there is a new link. So it is what it is. I'm dealing with it, and my name's attached to it. Obviously, you know that I have very high quality standards, and yeah, sorry. Hopefully it ends up working a little bit better for everybody. I don't know if it will or won't, but I've done all that I can do. It's tough to get an internet signal with a mobile hotspot from outside the gym. Let's go over the numbers since you can hear my voice clearly. Rhett Young with 14 leading the way for R.A. Long. Jeff Rookledge with 9 off the bench on 3 made triples. Josh Crane with 8. Trey Jenkins with 2. Cam Newson with 1. 34 total for the Lumberjacks at the break. And for Mark Morris, 9 for Carson Bogner. 6 for Dalton Stevens, 4 for Drew Ibarreta, 4 for Jaden Brooks, and 1 for Nate Stevens. 34 total at the break for the Monarchs, 24 total at the break for the Monarchs. I get it. I appreciate you guys, Brian and Tim, in the live stream comment section. I mean, I'm super prideful about what I put out there, and there's nothing I hate more than unwatchable lag comments, and, you know, rightfully so, it is. I get it. I can't watch it either, and I know the players want to come back and watch it as well. And, yeah, a lot of people do. So hopefully the second half is presented a little bit better. But at the end of the day, there is that NFHS feed. Always welcome to go jump on that. And I know people can rewatch it on that as well, so I prefer to be the one that people watch, but it won't ruin my night. Well, we got basketball to play now again. 16 minutes to decide who the district champion is of District 4. Will it be the Mark Morris Monarchs for the second straight season, or will it be the R.A. Long Lumberjacks for the third time in 4 seasons? R.A. Long with the basketball. Irwin inbounds it to Phil. The pressure immediately turned up on the perimeter by the Monarchs. Jenkins moves to the high post. Little zone defense being shown here and played by the Monarchs. 13 on the shot clock. Phil back to the top, feed inside, lob down low. Young catches, has to throw it in, and it's kicked, not called. Jenkins comes up with it. 2 on the clock. It's got to go up. Phil gets it up. Good if it goes. It hits iron, so that's good. Young battling. Jenkins dives. Ibaretta dives, and it's picked up by Stevens. What a sequence there. Dalton Stevens up and under. Rolls in. Counted and one. Immediately, Dalton Stevens goes to work, and he's got it down to single digits. He's got 8 in the ball game, and that's the deficit so far. Foul goes against Josh Crane. Dalton Stevens at the free throw line for a chance at the old fashioned. Misses the free throw. Young with the rebound for R.A. Long. Irwin comes over and gets it. This zone defense so far providing some problems. Jeff Rookledge is a guy who can shoot you out of problems. Pass forced in. Ill-advised there. The defense of Mark Morris collapsing on Rhett Young now. He's got 14, so that's probably a wise strategy. Brooks looking to get away from Crane, gets rid of it. Stevens now, left-hand dribble, hands off Bogner. Switch on defense. Stevens left open. Phil flies by. A 2, short. Phil can't handle it. A whistle, and a foul is going to be called against Mark Morris. A loose ball foul against Nate Stevens. Peyton Thill will inbound it. Stevens now with his second personal. Mark Morris really doesn't have anybody in foul trouble to say. I mean, Nate probably the only one even to consider. Pressure shown up the court. Jenkins gets it back to Crane, who's on the logo, goes far side to Thill. Again, this zone defense hard for R.A. Long to figure out. Lob inside, Jenkins gets it out. Crocodile Hunter, Crikey! And we've got a 30-second timeout by head coach Jeray Key. We're going to step aside real quick and be back in just a second.
Denali Heating and Air Conditioning, your local family-owned HVAC contractor, providing heating and air conditioning service for all makes and models, serving Cowlitz, Lewis, and Clark counties. Call Denali today at 360-957-8389 for all your heating and cooling needs. Denali Heating and Air Conditioning, proudly sponsoring N2 Media Streaming.
Welcome back to Kelso High School. You'll have to go to a different link, Heather, in YouTube. I've got one going right now. Just click on my profile and it should show in the bottom right corner. It should say the word live. It might be the picture of my cover photo, which is the football field. But we are on YouTube. It's just a different link. Mark Morris with the ball after the made triple by Landon Irwin. Ibaretta floats from the elbow, misses short. Rebound Jenkins. Jenkins able to wrestle it away and get it up the court to Irwin. Back to Trey. Trey near side now gives it up to Crane. Being guarded by Hendrickson. This is a matchup you'd want to take advantage of probably if you're R.A. Long. A switch on defense. Crane in and out dribble on Bogner. Toes the baseline. Ball rotated around. Another 3 on the way for Irwin. No. Ball tapped back, and it's going to be over the back called against Rhett Young, who got his hand over a Monarch. .5:30 left here in the third. 37-26. R.A. Long with the lead. Bogner tries to get around Young, does. Throws it up, gets a very kind bounce, but a great job using his body to shield a block attempt. Young wants to stay available for the big minutes down the stretch. A 9-point lead now. Thill on the logo being guarded by Nate Stevens. Hands off. Crane now with it. Crane has a screen available. Going underneath of it easily, though, was Stevens. Irwin moves it to the top. Jenkins feeds it down low. Double team comes, and there's a foul on Young. And it's called. Crane hit the triple, but it won't count. R.A. Long is home on the scoreboard. wearing the home jerseys. R.A. Long is ahead 37-28. Crane with it now, being guarded by Hendrickson. Has it poked loose, but recovers. 23 on the shot clock, plenty of time here for the Jacks. Jenkins gets it out to Phil. Crane being guarded by Hendrickson. Dribbles around, steps behind the foul line, rattles out on the shot, rebound to Nate Stevens. So far the Jacks not getting quite as good looks as they were in that first half. The defense has really picked up for the Monarchs. Jacks switching on everything around the perimeter. Irwin guarding the ball now, picked up by Jenkins. Ball goes to Hendrickson. Hendrickson to the top of the circle. Stevens has a screen, doesn't use it, double team, and now they're going to call a foul. That was close to being really nothing, but Irwin is going to pick up the foul. 4:07 left here in the third. That's the third team foul on R.A. Long here in the quarter, and the second personal on Landon Irwin. Pass goes to the elbow. Dalton Stevens puts it on the deck. Tough leaner, no good. Jenkins did a good job of backing off and not fouling. Stevens was probably expecting a little bit more contact there. Jack's defense hasn't really gone anywhere, but Mark Morris is settled in after trailing by 16. Jacks would love nothing more than to figure out a good spot to get in the zone, and this is a great spot, but the shot's missed. Ball kept alive, and it still comes away with an offensive rebound. Jenkins, Ibarreta, stolen. Stevens up and under. Long rebound put back is good by West. His first basket. 7:30. Mark Morris. Where? Going to have to come up with an answer. Crane steps back at the foul line. No good. Short. Rebound is on the floor, and a foul is going to be called. Nate Stevens also on the floor. That's the fourth team foul, and it's going to go against Josh Crane. Jeff Rookledge checking in for Trey Jenkins. Rookledge had a fantastic first half. Ibarreta spinning away from trouble. Bounce pass. Bogner back to Drew. Drew pump fakes the three. Dribbles in. Jump stop fade. You guys good? Ibarreta gets it down to 5. Crane over West. No good. Dalton Stevens with the rebound out in transition. Kicks to the corner. Bogner, a big three on the way. No good. Ball fought for, thrown out of bounds off of Phil by Mac West. .230 to go. Mark Morris winning the quarter by 5 so far. Bogner in front of the student section puts it on the deck. And a foul is called on the ground. Shots coming here for Carson Bogner as R.A. Long is over the foul limit. Bogner's first free throw. Rattles around and down. Bogner now with 12. Newsom into the game. Bogner's second free throw bounces up and in. Friendly rolls there for Bogner. Lead all the way down to 3. The Monarchs have battled it down from 16 to get to this point. Newsom taking his time. Pressure defense here by Mark Morris. Newsom drives. Shot up, no good. And free throws coming here for Cam Newsom. 2:01 to go, third quarter. Newsom, with just one so far in the game, misses the first. He's now 1 for 3 from the free throw line, and Jenkins will check in for Rhett Young. So Young out, and the Jacks clinging to a 3-point lead right now. Second one, good for Newsom. Jacks lead back up to 4, but the Monarchs continuing to push. Far side West goes to the corner. Ibarreta back to West. West skips it to Stevens. Stevens puts it on the deck. Jump stop at the elbow. Passes to the baseline. Stevens kicks. Bogner, an open three, passes it up, drives. Newsom comes over to help. Doesn't matter. Bogner's on one. He's got 15. The lead down to 2. Monarchs, furious comeback here in the third. Newsom to Crane. Now to Irwin. Rookledge rotates it. Crane off the dribble. Drop step spin. Rises up. Rolls off. Monarchs can tie or take the lead with a bucket. Drive down the lane. Stevens throws it up with the left, and it's tied. Dalton Stevens evens it at 38. What a difficult shot. He's got 10. The Monarchs will not be denied right now. And a reach is called on a drive. No free throws here. It's going to be a baseline inbound for R.A. Long. Crane will inbound it for the Jacks. And the ball's deflected out of bounds by Mac West after the inbound. What a comeback here by Mark Morris. Newsom dribbles back, has Ibarreta on him. Kicks Jenkins, an open three for the lead. No. Dalton Stevens looking to get out in front after the rebound. Goes up, off the window! With 12, and Mark Morris with the lead, 40-38. What a turn of events. R.A. Long trying to keep composure here. Newsom hits, but fouled before the shot. And he's got a Charlie horse he's dealing with. He's going to head to the free throw line with 15.2. Wow. Dalton Stevens with 12. Newsom rattles in the first. He's got 3, all at the free throw line. But the Jacks have been held to 5 points here in the quarter. The zone defense is just working magic right now against R.A. Long. You don't expect Mark Morris to go away from it. Newsom misses, 15 on the clock. Mark Morris looks to have a lead going into the fourth here, barring a turnover or a desperation heave. This ball is desperately heaved by Ibarreta, and it's off the mark. 40-39. Buckle your seatbelts, fans. Mark Morris has taken a 1-point lead after a 16-5 quarter. Oh, unbelievable. Just like we drew it up. Dalton Stevens with 12, but Carson Bogner with 15. All right, so I'm just going to say it real quick. I know the connection's not good. Stop typing it. I get it. Enjoy it or pay $12.99 for NFHS. And watch on the robot camera. I'm just trying to be excited and watch this ball game here. You can always buy a ticket and come watch it yourself. Mark Morris ball with the lead heading into the fourth. What can R.A. Long do to get back into a rhythm offensively? Jump stop shot pushed up and in by Ibarreta. The Monarchs can't do anything wrong right now. In and out dribble, Newsom pushed to the baseline, kicks it far corner. Thill for the tie. Yes! Python Thill ties it up, his first basket of the game. Reminiscent of the second Civil War. Shot up, no good. Young into the game, gets the rebound. Contact underneath the basket, no call. Moans and groans here at Kelso High School from both sides. Newsom, open three, no good. Young taps, and it's controlled by Nate Stevens. Ball on the floor, and a whistle. And traveling is called against Nate Stevens. Ooh, I don't know. R.A. Long basketball, 7:04 left, tied up at 42. Jenkins looking to enter, bounce pass feed to Young. Young jumps up into contact, and this one's no good. Rebound, Stevens. Stevens racing out past the first wave of defense. Kicks to the corner, Nate Stevens to the top. Ibarreta passes it up, drives, finds a cutter, and the ball's stripped, but it's going to be a foul on the floor on Cam Newsom. They say he got too much arm. Foul goes on Newsom. That's his fourth, so he's got to check out. Ibarreta lobs it in, gets the handoff. Out of the corner, being guarded by Irwin. Gets it to Bogner. Bogner dribbles, hands off Stevens. Stevens drives right, kicks Ibarreta. Ibarreta backs out to the corner, tries a bounce pass feed. It's going to be a kick ball called against R.A. Long. Irwin stuck his right foot out. 6:32 left and a new shot clock here for the Monarchs. Ibarreta to inbound it again, gets it to Bogner. Bogner, hands off far side. Brooks to Bogner, bounce pass, far block. Stevens going to work against Jenkins. Great defense by Trey. And they call a foul and one. Tough bucket there for Dalton Stevens. And he'll head to the line for a chance at the three-point play. Mark Morris has come all the way back from down 16 to lead it by 2 with 6:19 left. Stevens with 14 in the game misses the free throw, tapped around, controlled by Jenkins. Near side Crane up the sideline, penetrates and blocked, but a foul's called. Free throws coming here for Josh Crane. Brooks got above the ball and tapped it with his fingers, but they're going to get on the body. Crane's first, rolls around and out. Big free throws down the stretch here for both of these teams upcoming. Crane misses a pair. Dalton Stevens with the rebound. And inadvertent contact. Irwin is ran into Bogner, and they're going to get Irwin for a foul. All the momentum right now just feels with Mark Morris. They're going to go squeegee the floor up here. But this just feels like Mark Morris's game to lose at this point. Bogner fires a pass to the elbow. Stevens to the corner to Brooks. Brooks for a three. Yes. Jaden Brooks. It's a 5-point Mark Morris lead. I believe their largest of the game. A feed down low to Young, and it's tapped out of bounds by Bogner. It'll stay right here. 5:46 left in the game. What does R.A. Long have left here to answer? Mark Morris has played nearly perfect in the second half. Crane, a three at the top. Yes, there's a big answer. And a timeout by R.A. Long. It's a full charge timeout. We're going to take a quick break and be back here in just a minute.
Ecological Land Services provides efficient, cost-effective solutions for environmental permitting and land management. With 30 years of experience in the Pacific Northwest, they help developers, agencies, and landowners navigate complex environmental regulations. From wetland and stream assessments to habit restoration and mitigation bank development, ELS delivers accurate, timely services designed to bring your vision to life. For example, if you're planning a new construction project near wetlands or streams, ELS can help by assessing the impact on the environment, securing the necessary permits, and ensuring your project meets all environmental regulations, all while saving you time and money. Ecological Land Services, delivering smart, reliable solutions. Visit www.eco-land.com to learn more. Ecological Land Services, proudly sponsoring N2 Media Streaming.
Welcome back to Kelso High School. Mark Morris with a 47-45 lead with 5:39 left in the ball game. Carson Bogner with 15, Dalton Stevens with 14, but more importantly, the Monarchs with fantastic defense. Basically, since the second quarter on, they had a slow start there in the first quarter, allowing 20 R.A. Long points. And in the corner, Stevens dials up a three, pushes the lead back up to 5. 50-45, the Monarchs playing fantastic here in the second half. Young, far side, goes up off the window and scores. 16 for Rhett Young. That's his first basket of the second half. He had 14 at halftime, had 8 at the end of the first. Feed inside, tapped around, it's out of bounds. It'll stay with Mark Morris. Still a lot of time left. Rookledge is going to check in for Rhett Young. Nate Stevens to inbound. Goes to Ibarreta. Ibarreta being guarded by Irwin. Left-hand dribble into the paint. Blocked on the shot. Trey Jenkins comes away with it for R.A. Long. Gets it to Thill, far side. Thill brings it across the timeline. Rookledge being guarded by Bogner. Dribbles back. Now to Thill, 13 on the clock. Rookledge, a three for the tie. Nothing but net. Jeffrey Rookledge with 12, and we're knotted up here at 50. How big has Jeff Rookledge been off the bench for R.A. Long tonight? Stevens trying to jab off Jenkins. Gets it to the top to Stevens. Stevens looking inside, drives. Irwin, he travels with the ball. And it's a turnover, and R.A. Long has a chance to take the lead with a field goal or free throw with 4:02 left in the game. Still a ton of time. And we're going to get a timeout, Mark Morris. 30-second timeout. So we'll keep it right here. Wow. What a ball game so far. 4:02 left to decide it. Who will get the district championship? It means a lot to both teams here, actually. I mean, R.A. Long's probably set in the top 5 regardless of the outcome. But a win here for Mark Morris would probably guarantee them a spot in the top 8, which would also equally guarantee that they both are going to make at least a 1-game appearance in Yakima. Fitty. And that's exactly what the chances are here for both teams to win this ball game. Crane to inbound it for R.A. Long. Gets it back and gets it to Thill. Thill looking to bring it up, being guarded by Nate Stevens. Near wing, three-point line extended. Crane in and out dribble, working against Stevens. Drop step spin. Stevens keeps his feet down, doesn't bite on any of the fakes. Far side Crane off the dribble. Drop step spin. Might have traveled. Blocked by Stevens. 2 on the shot clock. Ball loose. Picked up. Dalton Stevens with an incredible defensive play. Drop step spin inside near block. Bogner misses. Irwin rebounds and he's fouled after the rebound. 3:22. Foul goes against Mark Hendrickson, his 4th. Dalton Stevens is locked in. I'm not saying you want to go away from Crane if you're R.A. Long. He's obviously one of the best options that you've got scoring the basketball. Feed inside on the cutter. A kick out 3 for Thill! Python gives R.A. Long the 3-point lead with 3 to go. It's eerily similar. It was 50-50 with almost 2.5 to go when Thill hit the 3 that helped R.A. Long win game 2. Can he do it again? Lob inside's deflected, out of bounds. Last touched by the Lumberjacks. 2:46 left. Are you kidding me? Mac West will check in for Mark Hendrickson. Python coming up huge. Got to look for Dalton Stevens here. Stevens gets the inbound, shoulders into Irwin, and it's an offensive foul. Stevens can't believe it, lowered his shoulder, and the Academy Award goes to the Crocodile Hunter. Stevens only with his 2nd personal, and it's the 3rd Monarchs team foul, so each team with just 1 foul to give. What a game. Thill on the logo being guarded by Stevens. Nate. 12 on the shot clock. The Jacks way outside right now. Rookledge fires to the top. And a 2 was in for Josh Crane. The Jacks take a 5-point lead. Now it's Mark Morris that needs to come up with an answer. Nate crosses over twice on Rookledge, finds Bogner, a 3 on the way, rattles out, it was down. Rebound to Thill, under 2 to go. A bucket would be massive for R.A. Long. Screen up top to the screener now, Crane. Being guarded by Stevens, gives it up to Irwin. Irwin to Thill. Thill has it poked loose, picked up by Jenkins. Jenkins a floater on the baseline long. Rebound Ibarreta. 1:30 left in the game. The trailer, Bogner puts it on the deck, drives, somehow gets a shot up, but it's blocked by Crane and snatched out of the air. R.A. Long pushing the pace. Near side now, Irwin. Rookledge tied up, and a foul is called, and Jere Drake gets a timeout, no foul called. Oh my goodness, I could barely contain myself right now. This game is just so incredible. .111 left, 20 on the shot clock. Cam Newsom on the bench with 4 fouls. Mark Hendrickson equally on the bench with 4 fouls. And it looks like this is going to be a full timeout here. But back to the scenarios here. A win by R.A. Long could put them in the conversation for the #1 overall seed when it comes time to seeding Sunday and the selection committee. And what they're going to look at is if R.A. Long wins this one, they will have 9 wins against teams that are playing in the regionals between 1A and 2A teams. If Tenino wins and gets to the regional round, that would make 10 wins against teams playing in the regional round of 16 in the state tournament. It's hard to ignore a resume that good, honestly. And Mark Morris, obviously, they've only lost 3 times. Ridgefield by 5 on the road minus 2 starters, and then the other 2 to R.A. Long. And if your only losses are to the team that finished first, this ball's out of bounds, deflected, and it's turned over. What a defensive play. I'm talking about things that are maybe going to happen and something that actually happens in front of us. Jaden Brooks gets in there and bothers the catch by Trey Jenkins, and they're going to wipe the basketball because, of course, it was slippery. What a finish here. Everyone on their feet. When you sit on the far side here, you got to be on your feet because the students are in the front. You know they are. Ibaretta goes to Dalton. Dalton being guarded by Crane. Gets a screen from Bogner. Finds a slip to Bogner. Bogner somehow gets it up and over Trey Jenkins. Under a minute left. It's a 3-point game. R.A. Long's going to want to use some clock here, but they want to maximize their effort. Young on the bench right now for the Jacks. One foul to give for Mark Morris. Crane gets it, being guarded by Bogner. Goes in, he's blocked, and it's a call. Held ball. Held ball is the call, and it's R.A. Long possession. Bogner got his hand on it, and some help defense came over as well. 34 on the game clock, 9 on the shot clock. A bucket could seal it. Thill looking around, goes far side to Crane. Crane gets it to Irwin. Back to Crane, 5 on the clock, they gotta go. Crane steps back for 3. No! Rebound, Jenkins! Jenkins gets it to the top. Now Mark Morris has got a foul. Newsom dribbling around, passes to Irwin. The Jacks running precious seconds off the clock, and finally the Monarchs foul. 13.7. That was an epic rebound for Trey Jenkins. Game's not over yet, folks. And we got a timeout. Mark Morris. R.A. Long still has to get the ball inbounds, secure it, get to the free throw line, and hit at least one to feel really good about their chances. Even though the stream's laggy, it's a live stream record, fans. We're over 563 live devices here. I do appreciate all of your support and all the regulars. What a season it's been for both of these teams. It's a shame one of them has to lose. Both of them are going to be at the state tournament, at least the regional round of 16, we know for sure. I would make an argument that Mark Morris should be in the top 8 probably. .7 on the game clock. Jacks are going small here. And a stack formation for the inbound play. Landon Irwin to inbound. Bogner guarding the inbound pass. Goes to Thill. Thill dribbling back, and he's fouled. 10.4 on the clock. And they want a foul back here right near where the inbound took place with Nate Stevens on the floor. But the call is going to be a foul against Mark Morris's Dalton Stevens. That's going to be his third. And now free throws coming for Python Thill. Gosh, I mean, it's so crazy on how these things work out. But Thill broke a 50-50 tie in the second game with a three and then hit a free throw to ice it. And he does the same thing potentially here. 7 now for Python. Thill to push it to 5 with 11.2. Swishes it home. And Mark Morris using time in the Jacks foul with 7 seconds left. Smart play there. That was a foul to give. Great heads-up call by R.A. Key. And Jenkins commits the foul. That's his second. Mark Morris needs a quick bucket. Nate Stevens to inbound it. Stevens gets the inbound, pulls up in front of Jenkins. No good! Ball tapped around, 1 on the clock. It won't matter. R.A. Long is the district champion for the 3rd time in 4 seasons as they rally after Mark Morris erased a 16-point deficit to take a 5-point lead multiple times. But it's the Lumberjacks from Longview's original high school that come up with the win, and they sweep the season series against Mark Morris for now. 57-52. A 5-point win for the Monarchs. A tremendous game, trophy ceremony and net cutting ceremony to come in just a few minutes' time. You got to feel for the Monarchs in how hard they battled back from that 16-point deficit. It looked like that the game was going to be out of reach early. But, man, I tell you what, the combination of Carson Bogner, Dalton Stevens, Drew Ibarreta, and Jaden Brooks, they left it all on the floor here tonight for the Monarchs. And for R.A. Long, I mean, what more do you need to say? Peyton Thill, again, comes up in the clutch and helps R.A. Long win their 3rd district championship in 4 seasons. They've now won 3 out of the last 5. Excuse me. Robert Blackman's on the mic. I'm so excited. Mark Morris. And the batteries.
And one of those is a 1-point loss. Last thing that I'll get to the trophy presentations. This trophy here, district championship trophy. It says 2021, Mark Morris. 2022, R.A. Long. 2023, R.A. Long. 2024, Mark Morris. 2025, R.A. Long. 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 2025
that to be said, I think you have two teams here who can contend for a state championship. Congrats.
That's head coach Ken Kelly of the Mark Morris Monarchs. Classy as always. And the microphone. See, not everybody's having technical difficulties, right? It's not just me. And R.A. Long's just going to get the trophy without a microphone announcement. And that's going to get Jareki out of a speech that he doesn't want to give. But we got to name players of the game here. Oh, there we go. What a scene here at Kelso High School. Mark Morris drops to 21-4, and R.A. Long improves to 22-1. 3 victories against their rivals in 2024-25. Technically, all of them have been in the year 2025, as they are going to pose for a photo. Students eagerly awaiting the net cutting ceremony, which will commence here in a little bit. We got to talk real quick, though, while this is going on in the background. We're going to go over some numbers, and I need some votes here for those that are still with us. Appreciate you all battling through the lag. And so let's start with R.A. Long here. I mean, Rhett Young ends up with 16 points. He had 14 in the first half and was getting great position down low. His teammates did a great job finding him, and he grabbed a lot of rebounds there in that first half as well. But Jeff Rookledge off the bench with 12, and he hit the bucket that really got R.A. Long kind of feeling confident again to shoot the basketball. Rookledge just had the eye of the tiger all night long. And then Thill with 8, Crane with 13, Newsom with 3, and Jenkins with 2, and Irwin with 3. Jenkins with that huge offensive rebound with about 30-ish seconds left, a little bit lower than 30 seconds in the ball game. But R.A. Long survives and wins with 57 total points here tonight. Mark Morris, I mean, what else can you say than what Carson Bogner and Dalton Stevens did tonight to carry those guys, each with 17. Drew Ibarreta with 8, Jaden Brooks with 7, Nate Stevens with 1, and Mac West with 2, 52 total. Bogner had a fantastic game all the way around. Stevens, when he got out in transition and ran, and he hit some of the most difficult shots here tonight for Mark Morris, came up with some huge defensive plays time and time again. As I got to move the camera now so everyone can see the Lumberjacks climb the ladder. And, of course, the senior number 1, Peyton Python Thill. We've got some votes here for Rook coming in. Man, Thill for MVP from Kyle Fisher. Aaron says Rook for R.A. Long player. Lonnie Brown Jr. says Rookledge player of the game. Brian says, your dad is a football coach. You get my vote, Rook. Robert Wilson up and down the ladder. And then Devin Harris. What a ball game. Ryan Littlefield says Rookledge. Thank you so much for your support all season long, Ryan, and sponsoring R.A. Long and Mark Morris Athletics. I mean, like Ken Kelly said just a moment ago, if you couldn't hear it, talking about how these two teams played with class. You know, both schools are represented by nothing but class when it comes to the coaches. Football, basketball, baseball, wrestling, swimming, soccer, tennis. If I'm forgetting a sport, softball, sorry. Baseball, did I say that, Ryan? I think so. All of them, both sides. Everybody's just fantastic. And the community supports each other like no one else. Rookledge, another vote for player of the game. Emilio says, great game. Rookledge, ice cold. I got a feeling that Jeff Rookledge has got the votes here. Dennis says Rookledge as well. 12 points for Jeff off the bench, and they were badly needed as Cam Newsom clips some twine. Phil had, I think, all of his points in the fourth quarter, I want to say. I think Phil had all 8 as Rookledge is up on the ladder now for the Lumberjacks. Yeah, Jeff had a phenomenal game. I'm not trying to make a case. I like to let the audience decide when they're involved. Lauren says Rookledge. Rhett Young now on the ladder. Man. Dallas says Thill for MVP as Irwin gets up there and cuts the twine. Now Isaias Lindsay. You know, the thing is about R.A. Long is that they've got great players that, don't really play a lot. And Isaias is long and athletic, hard worker. You know, got Anthony Herrera, Robert Wilson, Devin Harris, Riley Coleman. You know, they've got talented guys all up and down. Same thing could be said for Mark Morris. Peg says Rookledge. Steve says Thill. Amy says Thill. This is tough. I mean, Phil had 8 in the fourth. I mean, when they needed it most. And Rookledge had 9 in the first half, 3 in the second half. Boy. As Aunt Herrera is now clipping some twine. They got a lot of work to do there. There's still a few threads hanging. I mean, I don't want to cop out, and take the easy road here. Man, I'm thinking about it. I'm really thinking about it. Kyle Brewer says Thill. Yeah. Oh. Jake Moe says Peyton. J-Man, the Giants fan, votes for Rookledge. Of course. Guys are making it tough. Kyle says flip a coin. Do I have a coin? I don't think I do. Coach Jamon Harris, class act. Rocky says Thill. George, co-players of the game with Rookledge and Thill. Yeah, it's just so hard, man. Thill with 2 threes, 1 to tie the game, 1 to take the lead, 2 free throws to ice it. Man, Raleigh Wallace and Connor Wallace now. Rocky brings up a great point. Revenge tour for Thill. Yeah, Thill was, I want to tread lightly on how I describe this, I guess. But Thill was picked on a little bit last year against Mark Morris. And he had a ball thrown off of his face on an inbound play. Rich Reeves is getting shown the ladder now. Brian giving a shout out. Absolutely, you can. Fort Vancouver going to state for the first time in 40 years. Absolutely. Congratulations, Trappers. There's actually some Trappers in attendance here tonight. God, we got a lot of votes for each of these guys. Eric says MVP goes to Mark Morris's forced shot selection down the stretch. Great win for the Jacks. It's Raleigh Wallace. Oh, excuse me, that's not Raleigh. I already saw Raleigh. I don't know who that is. He's happy, though. Dwayne McCabe's going to get up there. Mr. McCabe. Eric Lund from Indiana, class of 88, says Rookledge. Might have been Kyle Fowler. Yeah, I don't know. I can't tell from this vantage point. And then here's Dre Key. Kara says Kyle Fowler. Oh, okay. I couldn't tell. His back was turned. Dre Key with the net in his left hand now. The Lumberjacks are going to add that to the trophy case. How about the city of Longview? 5 district championships between the two schools. 3 in the last 4 years for the Jacks. I was trying to say 3 out of 5, but they didn't have a chance to play back in the 2021 district championship due to the COVID bug. Man. And the Jacks are going to celebrate. Fans, thank you all so much for tuning into tonight's broadcast. And again, thank you so much to my wife, Geneve, at home with our newborn daughter, Eleanor Grace. And all of you have been so kind throughout the year. If you'd like to consider a small donation to the cause, Venmo at N2 Media. I know I've asked all year long, and I said a lot of you have already supported, but I've got a graphic for a reason, so I'm going to put it up. But any and everything goes a long way. The sports season comes to an end tonight for N2 Media for winter streaming. We will venture out hopefully and get some spring sports in with some baseball and softball action if possible. I got to use this mobile internet, and as you can see, it's not the most reliable. But thank you all so much for your support all season long. Mark Morris, R.A. Long, Ridgefield, Kelso, La Center. Everyone's been phenomenal. Back to the scene here at Kelso High School. Time to name our player of the game. And I got to say, I think the vote's like split, like right down the middle. This is hard. I could go co-players of the game if we want to really if we want to go that route. I hate doing that. I'll just say this. Everybody was equally important at times for R.A. Long. But I'm going to go ahead and explain it like this. Jeff Rookledge had a phenomenal first half. He came in and shot the lights out, and he delivered again in the clutch. When the Jacks needed a bucket, when they needed confidence, they found Jeff Rookledge in rotation, and Jeff wasn't shy about pulling the trigger. Jeff was a big reason why R.A. Long ran out to a 16-point lead. But Mark Morris came back and erased all of what that came out to be in the first half. They led by 5. 3 second-half points isn't shabby, and especially considering the bucket that came of those 3 points for Jeff Rookledge. But I can't ignore the fourth quarter heroics from a senior leader, Peyton Thill. When you needed it most, when they were down 3, he tied it up. When they were tied at 50, the exact same score when he hit the 3 in game 2. He came through and delivered. He was smart with the basketball, didn't turn it over, hit 2 free throws to ice the game. All 8 of his points came in the fourth quarter in crunch time when it mattered the most. I got to go with Peyton Thill if I was really going to split hairs and name a player of the game. It's going to go to Peyton Python Thill with 8 points. I know those are the 8 of the biggest points of R.A. Long's season in terms of winning this district championship, all the work that they'd put in, and what he did in a culmination all the whole year against Mark Morris. He had huge threes in the first game, a huge one in the second. I just think that the carryover and the culmination of the final chapter, maybe, of the Civil War rivalry, I think you got to give it to Peyton. That's all I got. I think Jeff Rookledge is extremely talented, and he's going to be back next year, and he's still got moments down the road this year to come through for his team again. But like I said, if we're going to split hairs, I would say Peyton as the player of the game. If you want to consider them co-players, I have no problem with that. But again, let's just tell you how everybody did. Young ends up leading the way with 16, but 14 of those in the first half, and he was sitting out a lot there in that second half when the Jacks decided to go with a small, faster defense and more shooters around the perimeter. Josh Crane can't be overlooked with 13. He hit a big shot as well. I mean, the Jacks as a team came through overall. Rookledge with 12, Thill with 8, Newsom with 3, Jenkins with 2, Irwin with 3. 57 total tonight for the Jacks. For Mark Morris, Dalton Stevens and Carson Bogner, 17 apiece. 8 for Ibaretta, 7 for Brooks, 1 for Nate Stevens, 2 for Mac West. Insert Michael Jordan gif. I took that personally. Yes, yeah. I'm sorry. That's where I was at. I like Rookledge. I think that was great. I think he did phenomenal. I gotta come up with an argument that I could present, and I think that I did the best that I could. So that's all I got. Again, Mark Morris 21-4, 3 losses to R.A. Long this year, 1 to Ridgefield, but they were down 2 starters in that ball game. Where they're going to end up on Selection Sunday, I really don't know. I think that they're probably going to be somewhere in that 8 spot, maybe the 9 spot. But I think it's going to be really tough. I think what's working for them is that Franklin Pierce beat Squim by 14 earlier today. Squim had a pretty solid record. But Franklin Pierce is a team that might get some love and some shine with their district tournament performance thus far. They're going to be playing in the district championship against the winner of Bremerton Bainbridge in District 3. We'll see how it ends up. How about that? We'll see. I think R.A. Long might have guaranteed themselves a top 3 seed. Personally, I would put them at 2. And I might be able to make an argument for them being the number 1 overall seed, but I think Linden's going to get that distinguished honor even after they lost. But as long as Linden wins, they still got to win tomorrow against Archbishop Murphy to get into the tournament. But that's going to do it here, folks, at Kelso High School. Nick Sisson on behalf of N2 Media, R.A. Long and Mark Morris Athletics, saying congratulations to both R.A. Long and Mark Morris for getting to the regional round. And congratulations, Lumberjacks, for their 3rd district championship in 4 seasons. Hope you all have a great evening and hope you enjoyed the winter sports season. And we'll let you know when we got some information for spring sports coming up. Look forward to connecting with you all once again. And we'll talk with you soon. Take care.